What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pure Buckets podcast. Today it's just me and the boy Cole, and today we're gonna do a little bit of a look at the Phoenix Suns and the Mavericks series, and we're gonna look between the two teams and see what's going on. The series at the moment is tied 2-2. I would assume Phoenix will win, but can never be too sure of anything. So yeah, how you doing today?
I'm existing, There's nothing really much. I'm not gonna lie to you or the people and say, it's just I'm in the middle of nothing right now, just waiting for finals to get over with. So pack all my stuff, kind of go home and go on from there. But because that's when the real stuff happens,
You guys are gonna be getting some very interesting videos in just a bit.
So, but yeah, as Vipin alluded to, we're just gonna be looking at, like last time we did a shorter one on specifically the Sixers and like Harden, but this time we're looking at the series because we think the series as a whole is very interesting to look at. Obviously, going into it, I mean, everyone in their mother thinks obviously the Suns are going to win the series, which is still obviously I would say they're definitely the favorite, yeah, for sure. They go up 2-0 early, big chances there. They go back to Dallas. Dallas was actually the favorite in Game 3. They were like, nah, no way, Luka lets them go down 3-0, and that's ended up what happening. But Game 4, a little bit of a different story, and so now the series is tied up at 2-2. And I mean, we both talked about this before, but what do you think? What is the reason that the Suns lost these last two games?
I think Chris Paul's underperformed a bit, He's kind of had some disaster classes compared to what he did towards the end of the previous series. He has not been playing on the same level.
Yeah.
Would you think that it's him playing bad or it's the Mavericks locking him up? What do you think about that?
No, it's just him playing bad.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't do you feel like it's defense wise? I don't think either team right now in this series is playing lockdown defense really at all.
I mean,
both teams are kind of scorers. I feel like the difference is more offensive, really. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Well, the Mavericks both teams definitely have defensive bright spots. Like for the Mavericks, I know Dorian Finney-Smith is really proving his case. That's why he obviously signed like that. He got a contract extension for 4 years, something like that. Went from undrafted. It was a good story on him, but he's a good 2-8 player. He hit career high 8 threes in the other game the other day.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he was a big one. And then obviously his defense on the other end, he's a really good defender. And I think he might be. I don't remember correctly, but I think he might be guarding Booker. So, but Booker is still obviously having a good series. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that they won the first two games. Also, remember we talked about this before, how the key to the Sun series is we thought Chris Paul is pretty consistent. We were like, yeah, we know what we're going to get from Chris Paul. And then obviously we know what we're going to get from Booker. The key is just if you get Ayton involved, I think they're going to win because the Mavericks don't have that big presence.
Yeah, down low, yeah. The Suns obviously have Ayton. I don't really think the Mavs have the most presence. The Mavs are more of a perimeter shooting team than they are really in the paint. So I think that's pretty different. I feel like the Suns can shoot from the perimeter, but they also have the option of going in the paint, which the Mavericks don't really have.
Yeah.
But despite that, the series is still tied 2-2, which I mean that's pretty. I think I said the series would go in 5 or something.
I think everyone said it was going to be kind of around that level.
Yeah, I mean now it's going to be a 6, maybe even 7 gamer. So.
Yeah, but the Mavs though, as you said, they're primarily a 3-point shooting team. This series alone, just these 4 games, 48% of their shots are from 3. That's really high.
Damn. So almost half their shots are from 3.
Yeah, but that's why they're winning because they're over.
They shoot pretty efficiently.
Exactly, they're over 40%.
Yeah, and that's what how many shots are the Suns taking as a team for each thing?
Let me tell you right now, actually. So the Mavericks we said are 48. The Suns are. I just had to do the calculation real quick. 32% of their shots are from 3.
That's a pretty big difference, I'd say. Yeah, for sure.
It's just the play styles for sure.
Because percentage-wise, the Suns are shooting higher percentage, but not by much, right? And because the amount of extra threes that the Mavericks are taking, instead of making them at 40%, around 40% rate, it just adds up. The Suns will be making twos in the paint and stuff, but if the Mavericks keep making these threes, they're gonna catch up or they'll take the lead and they'll win. Which
Yep.
is why the series currently is tied 2-2. I think the difference is just the perimeter shooting.
Yeah.
The Suns don't lock them up.
Yeah. The Suns have definitely done a better job overall in the series as a whole team. I mean, they're out rebounding them easily, like 10 over like 10 of them a game over the Mavericks. The ball movement is a little bit better, even though the Mavericks ball movement is also there. But I mean, obviously you can't really say the Mavericks. I mean, the Mavericks are gonna have good ball movement, but when you have a player like Luka that's always on the ball, he's averaging 33, 9, and 9 this series alone. He is eating alive. He's having a great time. Brunson.
Luka ain't shooting the best from 3.
Yeah.
31%. It's kind of rough. But the other people are making up for it.
No, for sure. Brunson and Dinwiddie are the two that are getting kind of locked up this series. Everybody else is doing pretty exceptional from the floor in terms of just shooting the ball. But
Brunson's really not shooting very efficiently, like at all from the field. 40% from the field and 25 from 3. I think that's not so hot. But even despite that, the series is still tied 2-2. I think that shows like the other players on the Mavericks team are stepping up, and obviously Luka's still going dummy. So like, not like he's playing awful or anything. So
yeah,
averaging 33, 9, and 8, still crazy.
I mean, yeah, but you gotta look at it's also you gotta look at it at large, right? Like that first game, who led that whole game in points? Luka with 45. Who led the whole game in rebounds? Luka with 12, and they still lost.
Would you say that a part of this, like what's happening right now, is just because the Mavs have like one superstar player, while would you say Devin Booker's superstar?
Yes. Wow.
Can't really disagree with that. Yeah, but I think like the tier of superstar is different.
I mean, yeah, Luka. I would rather have Luka than Devin Booker, but I think anybody would.
I don't really. I think it's just the perimeter shooting. This is like kind of surprising to me that it's like 2-2 right now. Honestly.
That's what I'm saying though, is because it's attributed to Dallas shooting the 3 ball exceptionally well, better than because the Mavericks they've always this whole season they've been like a really high volume 3-point shooting team, but they've never been this on fire. Especially with Davis Bertans, especially he's been like kind of struggling. I think this as a Maverick, but he's having a good series right now. What are you gonna say?
What do you think that? So basically, out of all 4 games that have been played so far in this series, 3 out of the 4 have been like basically in blowouts. Not complete blowouts, but like the game 4 was a win by 10 points. Game.
I mean, 3 out of 4 blowouts.
They weren't that close. None of them.
2 of them finished. 2 of them finished within single digits, and then the other one it was a 10-pointer. There was only 1 blowout, in my opinion.
Game 2 was a blowout for sure.
Yeah, that's the only blowout. If you're 10 points or within, that's not a blowout.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it should just be closer in general. I feel like because the Mavs like shouldn't be taking like solid wins like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the issue with that Mavs game.
What I would have predicted before the series is like, okay, the Mavs might win some games and they might win by like 1, 2, or 3 points. Not like this, like this is like solid wins. Like they're like ahead. Wins.
Well, that Mavs game from was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. They won by 10, but the first quarter alone they were already up 12. So they just came out, got the great lead, and then just sustained the lead for the rest of the game, and that was it. Phoenix could never get over the hump.
How much of that would you blame on Chris Paul?
A lot. He only played 23 minutes because he fouled out. He only ended up shooting the ball 4 times. I mean, you can't be Chris Paul. Like as much as Chris Paul, like obviously, like we know Chris Paul. He's a great scorer, but he's not like that caliber of scorer because he is obviously focused on like facilitating the offense a lot more. So we obviously don't expect him to be dropping even like 20 a night every night. You know what I'm saying? But for him to be dropping 5 points is pretty unacceptable.
Yeah, for sure. 5 points, not it.
One of his fouls, his 5th foul was because Chris Paul, he knows the rules. I've heard about like a lot of things from other people, like even JJ Redick, who's been doing a fantastic job, by the way, on First Take, or just on he's been doing First Take, which is fantastic for ESPN. But anyways, he was saying like Chris Paul is a guy who just knows like all the rules. Obviously he's a veteran. He's a good, he knows what he's supposed to be doing. But his 5th foul was a pretty foolish foul. Like he knows that the rule changed, but he still did it anyways. He got called for the offensive foul, and it was just, I don't know, it's just poor play, I think, from Chris Paul overall, and especially last game. But the one before that, obviously game 3, that was more of a case of his turnovers. Obviously, we talked about his most turnovers he's ever had in his career in a half, and he does it obviously on this stage. And it's not even, like, again, like you said, he's not shooting the ball bad because he's only taken these last 2 games. He's only taken a combined 14 shots. He's these two. What's crazy? What I thought of when is these last 2 games, his total points is 17 and his total is 11. So his stat line for the last 2 games combined is 17-11, and I was like, that just looks like a normal Chris Paul stat line for one game.
1 game stat line.
That's what I'm saying.
2 games, that's rough, dude. I mean, he's been playing like pretty efficiently. Like if you look at like the actual like how he's shooting.
It's just not enough.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Like as a team, they're just like, I feel like they need to play better defense. I think if the Suns start playing better perimeter defense, the rest of the games will not be very like too difficult.
Yeah.
Which is obviously way easier said than done, but like they still have to worry about Luka, who's I feel like not the biggest perimeter threat. He's not that efficient from 3. Yeah. But like anywhere inside the arc, he's a threat.
That's what I'm saying. Like Luka had a bad the Suns realistically should have won yesterday's game because Luka shot 1 of 10 from 3.
Yeah.
He had just an overall poor shooting game. Still posted 26, 7, and 11, but that's like normal Luka things, right? But you have to, obviously, like I said, Dorian Finney-Smith dropped 8 threes on their forehead. Shot 8 of 12. Bertans dropped in another 4. Overall, as a team, they made 23s compared to the Suns' 9. That was obviously the difference in the game.
What have you? So, what do you think about like the officiating, like over this series?
The officiating is. I remember. Well, I remember I sent you that one message. What was that? It was that one message one day when I was. Oh my God! I was watching. I think it might have been game 2 where I was like, bro, I was flipping out, and you guys were like, bro, are you okay? I was like, I've just seen 5 offensive foul calls in a row.
Yeah, I remember that. You were like.
But that instance specifically wasn't really bad officiating. That was just really poor play, I think, from both sides. It was pretty ridiculous. But the officiating overall, I wouldn't even say the series. I'd say the whole playoffs. A lot of people are complaining about the entire playoffs. Like they're going to the review too much, which, if I'm being honest, I like the review because obviously you want to get the call right. It makes less error, but I understand what people are saying with obviously it stops game flow. It makes them a lot more boring to watch. There's obviously then more commercials when you do reviews, and just more foul calls in general obviously stops the game, which the whole point of basketball, the reason a lot of people like basketball more than other sports, or like the specific reason they give it to, is because basketball is supposed to be a non-stop sport. It's always action-packed.
Yeah, always something's happening.
Exactly. That's the biggest complaint with obviously baseball. Even like football, you have, there's like you stop basically every down, you reset. That's just like the nature of the games though, right? But that's why a lot of people like basketball. But when you have
fast-paced, hyper-fast.
But when you have the officiating, which is just being like they call so many fouls, it's it kind of takes away from that point of the game. Like nobody wants to go to a game and then watch. Remember that one? It was like that Celtics Nets one in round 1. It was like game 1. They had like 50 fouls or something, and it was like a high for like a record, some kind of record or whatever. But there's just been hella fouls. I don't know how much of it is poor officiating. Like again, I didn't watch the game last night. All I know is we can touch on that in a moment, but I'll let you take that over.
I'm missing a lot of people talk like, not just on this series, on like many series, that the officiating lately has been kind of questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that time you were like texting me and like about like, yo, what did I just see about like all these fouls? That I don't think that was bad officiating, but like just like a few minutes ago, like live, in the Bucks game, like Giannis got a tech for just like staring at Al Horford after a dunk.
Yeah, I hate those taunting calls. They're so lame to me.
Like, why are they calling for players expressing themselves like that? Like I dunk on someone and I give them a mean mug. Oh, I got a tech. What?
There was one in particular. I don't remember who it was, but there was one that was just insane. Like they decided to tee up both guys, but one of them did literally nothing. And I might have been Matisse Thybulle. I could be wrong, but it was just ridiculous. So I don't know. I got if you want to, I got 2 more things we could talk about though. Is that cool?
Yeah, wait, my mic is bugging. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so let's talk about the thing that obviously happened yesterday. It's been big news in this series. Obviously, the whole situation with the fan. Do you know about that?
The Chris Paul one?
Yeah. Oh, I think I sent it to
Oh
you.
yeah, I know about that. Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah, what do you think?
For backstory for anyone listening who doesn't know about it, basically a fan shoved Chris Paul's wife or his mom.
It was both of them. I think his mom had hands put on, but then his wife was pushed. Was the language that was used. So, I don't know. What do you
Okay,
think?
so
What
Chris
are
Paul
your overall thoughts there?
has his mother had hands put on her and his wife was pushed. Okay, so that is completely unacceptable. That no matter what anyone says, that is completely unacceptable. Like coming and like putting hands on a player's family is absolutely unacceptable. And there's no world in which that's acceptable. That's
Mhm.
horrible. Like that's scary, bruh. Like I would be so mad if I was like a basketball player and like some fan just came up and like started like shoving my mom or my wife. I'd be so mad.
Yeah, that's why Chris
That's
Paul in his post interview, he was like visibly like shaken up, like he just looked a lot different, and then obviously people were like questioning. It's like he has every right to be acting like a certain
100%,
way.
yeah. I remember some people before we found out the context of that, like, bro, why is he whining? But now that we know, it's like he has 100% right to be mad about that. That's not okay.
I was watching
No.
Shaq this morning. He said as soon as you put your hands on one of the people I care about, there, or it might have been Charles, but one of them said like, yeah, like there's no rules anymore. Like
Fact.
I will literally, like they were talking about, they would just beat him up, but obviously like you can't really do that now. I feel like so.
Nah, but like I wouldn't be mad at a player if he beat up someone who like
Yeah,
messed with his wife.
I wouldn't be either.
I'd be
Obviously,
like, I
you
go
see, it's
for
like
it.
you see the
W.
dude that did like the dude that did it though.
Did what?
It was like some kid or something. But
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see the actual person who did it.
yeah, I don't know. It was, I don't know. It was just like some white kid, and he was like, Chris Paul was like looking at him and like yelling at him. I don't even know. But
Not okay, dude. It's not even funny. Like,
yeah, I don't even know.
no fan should ever think of even doing that. Like the most you could ever do is like verbally say something. Even that's probably not okay, but like
Yeah,
you can't touch. You can't. That's like literally a crime, bro.
a great thing.
Resident press
A great thing I
charges.
did hear was no, not like it was not a good thing, but like a good opinion I heard was, it might have been JJ Redick again, but he was talking about how it's just the nature of the, like how everything that they do for like security purposes or whatever, it's, or anything related to basketball is reactionary, not preventatory. Like
Yeah.
you can't prevent things from happening. You have to just react. So what they did, like with getting rid of the fan, like, you know, swiftly or whatever like that, like everything was done correctly. But that's just unfortunate, obviously, because you can't, there's nothing you can do.
Stop someone, yeah.
Yeah, unless you give like away fans security. But like, I don't know. But like, you know, like who's like, you can't prevent you know, obviously, like remember the Timberwolves, like they had like two protesters in two different games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't, obviously you can't prevent that. Yeah, it's just
People
you have
do
to
random
react to
things.
it.
Yeah.
So like, what can the NBA actually do, right?
To protect like their families.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, what do they do? Like
I feel
maybe
like they
for
I don't know,
families specifically, maybe you can give like a security, but
maybe a specific like gated off area or something.
oh, true,
You know,
yeah.
like one little area for like families and like have like security around them or something. Cause that's scary, bro. Like if because like once one person does it, other people might get the idea like, oh shoot, that's what people doing nowadays, and they might try to do it too. Like that's it's not it's not like a tendency that should be like allowed for other people to like think, oh maybe I can do this. No, I think it would be a good idea to create like a separate area where their like player families can be protected.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I see no issue with that.
All right, well, let's move on to the last thing, then wrap this up real quick. Where do you think we'll do this. Where do you think the series goes from here? And then if the Suns want to win out the series, what needs to happen? And if the Mavs want to win out the series, what needs to happen? So 3 questions.
So, I'll start with the Mavs. The Mavs, if they want to win this series, they need to continue what they're already doing, because I think that what they're doing right now already is working. They need to keep up this efficiency from 3, because if they get locked down from 3, that's it. They have no chance of winning. But if they keep up this like 3-point scoring, that's amazing for them. And maybe if they also like start to pressure the paint a little bit, so like the shooters have even more access to shooting the ball, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And like Yeah, I think that works. Luka, just keep doing what he's doing. I'm not worried about Luka underperforming. I feel like he's good.
Yeah.
Except maybe not take so many threes. He's not really the best 3-point shooter. But yeah, besides that, for the Suns, I'd say if you do not lock down the Suns on the perimeter, you're gonna have a real problem. Like a genuine chance of losing. Not very much. Like I definitely say the Suns have a pretty significant chance of winning. I'd say the Suns probably win in 7. So I think probably the next game goes to the Suns, and maybe the one after that might go to the Mavs, and they might go to 7.
So you think just whoever is at home for this entire series is gonna win?
See that happening, yeah.
All right. So then, I guess I'll answer. For the Mavericks, to me, it's clear. Luka's been having, even though like yesterday's shooting wasn't very on point, he still put up, like I said, a great stat line. So you're gonna get pretty consistent. And honestly, Luka isn't he's not Fluka anymore. We all remember we used to call him Fluka for funnies or something like that. I don't know, or we brought it up.
It's funny.
But he's not Fluka. Like, he gives you consistent numbers. His impact is always there on the court. So that's not really the point of focus. The point of focus, I think, is for the Suns defensively, they need to lock down. They need to lock down the other people, or they just need to really, because Mikal Bridges, you have to understand. Remember, I was hyping over Mikal Bridges. I was saying, because obviously, like, he's a great defender. He's a perimeter defender, but one man can't guard all the 4 or 5 dudes that are popping these threes for the Mavericks. They need to set. It can't be zone either. That's the issue. If they run a zone, then I feel like dudes are going to be wide open at threes all the time. I don't know what the Suns have been running, but if they run a zone defense, I feel like it's just going to continue to be worse. So I think they need to kind of pressure up on the line a little bit more, force the Mavericks to go inside, meet Ayton at the rim, which I don't think many of them can do.
Yeah, they can't.
And then I guess offensive end, they just need Chris Paul back, and they're fine. For the Mavericks, obviously, again, like, Luka's going to give you consistent numbers. So either Luka has to do even more of a takeover, or you're just going to need more of that. You're just going to really need to stop Devin Booker, in my opinion, because he's been eating you guys alive. And, you know, cause Chris Paul, I feel like there's no way Chris Paul is going to maintain, like, this poor play, like, under any circumstances.
Once he comes back, it's going to be so bad for them.
Yeah. So I think they need to stop Devin Booker, which is very difficult. And obviously, Ayton is very interesting, very difficult person to control, because, like, the tallest person on the entire Mavericks roster might be like, or the ones that actually play might be like 6'9", 6'10", something like that, right? But they're not like
6'11", huh?
But they're not like defensively strong. Who is it? Dwight Powell? Powell's 6'10". Who's 6'11"?
Ayton is 6'11".
Oh, but I don't know who defends Ayton on this team. Kleba is getting destroyed. Powell is getting destroyed. You know, that's it. That's really the only dudes they've been playing. So, I don't know. Yeah, the Mavs, they just need to keep it rolling. They just got to get everyone involved. Still got a really good ball movement. Keep getting those open looks. And now I guess for our time, you said you got the Suns looking in 7.
7, yeah, that's 7.
I'll go a little risky. I'll take the Suns in 6.
Okay.
I'll say they win the next 2.
That's valid too. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
Yeah, I just can't see the Suns losing overall.
We see the Mavs are overperforming.
I mean, that's what you need to do. You need to overperform to win, right?
That roster they have is not the strongest. So if they somehow win this series, like, imagine the clout Luka gets. Wow.
Yeah, he's
crazy. The second Luka starts to get efficient from 3, man.
Yeah.
Man.
But that's basically it. So.
Yep. I think very interested in the rest of the series. You got any final words?
None at all. Just keep getting hyped up for these new videos we're gonna have coming. Obviously, these are kind of like stand-in, like just playoff reviews, but
yeah,
the in-person setup.
Nice content in about a week. We get a nice little setup. We're gonna get crazy.
Yep. But yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It was fun to record this. A bit of a shorter video, just like the last one, but the longer videos will be coming back soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and peace.